and thanks for watching, first and foremost. And what I want to do in this video is walk you through what I call the 4Ps to a scalable sales process. So when I work with startups, a lot of times they ask me, like, what does it actually take to build out a scalable, repeatable sales framework? And so what I've done is put together a little model here, and I want to walk through it here in this video because these are the key elements that we're going to be talking about and working through for your company, for your startup in the startup selling workshop. So you're probably here because you know about this workshop that I'm hosting in just the next couple of weeks called Sell Your Way to Series A. And I work with a lot of investors. I talk to a lot of investors. I've worked at 3 startups myself. And when you look at what it takes to get that early large investment, that Series A or something close to it, there's a couple of key elements that need to be in your sales process, in your sales model, so that whoever that investor is knows that they're investing in a business, not just a little bit of product and a little bit of revenue and a whole lot of hope. Okay, so what we're going to do is walk through this framework. I'm going to talk about all these key elements and help you understand a lot more about what we're going to accomplish together in the startup selling workshop, in the Sell Your Way to Series A workshop. Okay, so what I've got behind me here are what I call the 4 Ps. These are the 4 Ps. And these 4 Ps are probably all terms that you know already. And what we're going to do is think about each of these key areas of your sales process for your company and understand exactly what it takes to build out each of these 4 areas. So at the top, we always start with paying customers. We want to know exactly who it is that you're targeting, who are the companies, who are the industries, who are the people ultimately that have the problem that you're solving with your product. Because if we're not really clear about that, then we miss the opportunity of really focusing in our company and our sales process, because those earliest customers that you have are the ones that are going to define the destiny of your company. So we're always starting with our paying customers. Who do we want our customers to be? From there, we move into the prospecting side of things. And more specifically, we think about prospecting as how do I go find conversations? How do I go create conversations? And specifically, there's 3 key components here to an effective, what I call an effective prospecting plan of action. The prospecting plan of action. So the first piece, and I'm just going to abbreviate here to make it simple. The first thing we need to do is have what's called a funnel filler, FF. The funnel filler is designed to know exactly what activities we're doing on a daily basis that's going to fill the funnel, daily, weekly, monthly. It's different for every startup. One company I work with is doing a ton of work and having a ton of success with all things Facebook ads because of the target market that they're going after. It's enterprise B2B software. Facebook ads is working like unbelievably well for them. Other folks, they're using LinkedIn ads. Other people using cold emails and cold outreaches. Other folks, it's conferences. Whatever it is for your company, we need to figure out what is the funnel filler. How are you getting those future paying customers into sales conversations? So that's part 1 of your prospecting plan of action. The second piece is what's called a content selling strategy, a CSS. The content selling strategy is designed to prove to your market that you are a voice of authority. You know more about their problem than they probably do. And that puts you in a situation when you're best to leverage those conversations that you're creating through your funnel fillers so that you can educate your target market about their problems and that you are the partner they should be working with to solve those problems. So content selling strategy is very, very different than a content marketing strategy. Marketing is Facebook and Instagram and blog posts and email campaigns and blah, 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 blah. All this stuff is great when you're a big company and you're established and you have whole marketing departments. In the short run, right now as a startup, we need a content selling strategy. What's that one piece of content? How are you going to display and share your authority voice so that you can find those people and bring them into sales conversations? Part 3 is what's called a lead qualification strategy. So now that we've got leads coming into the funnel, now that we're educating and presenting ourselves as a voice of authority, now we've got to figure out who do we open the door to? Who are the people that are qualified to buy our product? Not some middle management person who's going to waste our time and ask for a proposal, not somebody who's looking for free trials. These have to be well-qualified people because our time is our most precious resource. Money, of course, is resource, and it's very, very precious. Time is even more important when you're a startup. You cannot waste time with vampires and gatekeepers and people that are just going to waste your time. And so that's where having a very strong and almost ruthless lead qualification strategy is absolutely critical to building out the rest of your prospecting plan of action. Okay, so that's the first part over here on this side of the model. So the second part of the model is, okay, now we've got these sales conversations that we're generating. The next piece that we want to do is think about what is our process map. Our process map, I think of it as a sales map or a sales process map. What that means is, as a company, do we know exactly the steps that it takes to move somebody from a qualified lead into a serious pipeline opportunity and ultimately becoming a paying customer? And just like with the prospecting side, there are three key elements to having a very strong process map, a very strong sales map. Part one is a demo design. Over and over and over, you're going to get asked, hey, can I see your product? I want to see a demo. When can I see a demo? When can I check it out, right? There's an art to running your demos the right way. It's all of the work that happens before you even get into that demo conversation and all of the work that happens after that demo. This is oftentimes where deals completely fall apart before they ever get any momentum. You show the demo and what happens? They disappear, right? That means you don't have the right process map in place to pull those people up, to get them warmed up sufficiently before they even get to the product demo, and you don't have the right system in place to keep them going after that product demo. So that's the very first part of building that right process map. The second piece is called having and building a close plan. So do we know, and do our prospects know all of the steps that need to happen from that early conversation all the way through to the point where they get going with you as a paid customer? Are they really, really clear? And are you really, really clear on all the steps, the plan that it's going to take to get them into the closed won column of your CRM, right? Now, the third piece is what are called momentum maintainers. And the opposite of the momentum maintainer is what's called a stalled deal strategy. So once we get the conversations going, once we start talking to more people at our prospect, once we start feeling like this thing is moving forward, how do we make sure we keep that momentum so we can move those deals from early stage into late stage opportunities? And the opposite is what happens when that deal stalls? Do we have a specific strategy to inject new life so we can reinvigorate that prospect, reinvigorate that lead, so we don't lose all that time and effort that we spent so far? So these are the three pieces: the demo design, the close plan, and the momentum maintainer, that comprise an effective sales process map. Now, finally, you've got these deals in the pipeline. They're stacking up. This is a place where a lot of times when I work with companies, it's not so much the challenge of finding prospects. It's not so much of knowing what to do here. So now they've got the stacks of opportunities that just aren't closing. And that's a huge problem. That's as big of a problem as not even having leads in the first place, because in either case, you're not generating revenue. That's a very bad thing. And so on the pipeline side of things, what we need here is a pipeline pull-through strategy. You need to have a specific strategy to pull those deals from sales opportunity to customers. And three key pieces on this part of the sales model. The first one starts with a why buy strategy, meaning specifically what's the ROI that your prospective customer is going to achieve as a result of working with your product. Because if you keep hearing we don't have budget, or that seems like it's really expensive, what your customers are actually telling you is, I don't understand what return on investment I'm going to get for the money that I spend. We need to be really, really clear on why customers are going to buy our product, and they need to be really, really clear on that. So that's part one of pulling deals through a pipeline. The second thing we need to do is build out pilot programs. A lot of times there's this friction that exists. They want to believe, they almost have to believe that our product is going to solve their problems, but they still need proof. So setting up an effective pilot program strategy reduces risk, reduces friction. It helps your customers take action and ultimately pulls them through your sales pipeline. So having a pipeline strategy is part two of this piece of the model. And then the third piece is having work plans in place. So once your customer says go, do they know and do you know exactly all the steps that are going to happen? And how do we make sure we use that future pacing, that work plan as part of the sale? Let's give our customers visibility so that they're not confused or feel uncertain about what's going to happen if they were to sign this contract with some startup, right? So if we can put together that work plan, that's going to give your customers confidence so that they're more willing to move forward with you. And again, pull through the pipeline and become paying customers. So at the top here, once you've got them as paying customers, right, there's a couple key pieces here as well. The first one is implementation planning. This is a continuation of the work plan that we built prior to the sale. The implementation plan is all of the steps that is happening as it's going on. It's setup, it's training, it's development, it's answering customer support questions, it's making sure that other departments know what it's going to take for them to use your product. It's all of the integrations that might need to happen in order to make sure your system syncs up with the other systems that are being used at your target company. So the implementation plan is a continuation of the work plan, which happens as part of the sale. Now we're actually getting going. We're onboarding our customers. We need to have a really clear implementation plan for them to feel confident and to make sure that we give them the results that they need in the time that they need it. The second piece here is a customer success plan, CSP. So beyond the training, beyond the onboarding, beyond, hey, really great, get you started, here are all the logins, what does a long-term customer success plan look like to make sure that after the first month, the first quarter, the first 6 months, the first year, that we can go back and the customer can go back and go, wow, I'm really glad that we bought this product because look, we're getting the ROI. We're getting exactly what you promised we would get and maybe even more. This is a key element to getting to this last piece here, which is upselling and referrals. So that upsell could be to the existing customer in the existing business department. It could be moving laterally. You might have heard of a concept of land and expand. So starting with one business unit in a large company, oftentimes that is the proving ground that you need to then get 3 or 4 or 5 other implementations. This is a strategy that we followed with a couple of different startups that I worked with that allows us to get that one big customer, make sure they were successful because we had the right plan in place to get them implemented. Then we can start moving laterally into adjacent verticals within that same company, right? Let alone getting referrals and getting references within the industry. So these are all of the 4 main areas, starting with understanding and knowing exactly who you want your paying customers to be, how to build out your prospecting plan of action with these 3 elements, the funnel filler, your content selling strategy, and your lead qualification strategy. Having a sales process map with demo design, close plan, and a momentum maintainer strategy. And then finally on the pipeline side, giving your customers clarity as to why they're buying, how they're going to buy from you with pilot programs, and giving them visibility on what the implementation is going to look like with your work plans. And these are all the elements that we're going to be talking about and working with in the Startup Selling Workshop. In the Sell Your Way to Series A workshop, we're going to be looking at each of these key elements, showing you not only beyond what I'm explaining here why these are important, but exactly what they are and what you need to do to build them out with your team at your company. It's a very, very applied workshop. It's a workshop. I'm going to be giving you work to do. Sure, I'm going to be giving you principles, I'm going to be giving you frameworks, I'm going to be giving you models. Then we're going to put all of that to work for your company. So you're going to walk out of there with clarity, control, and confidence for your sales process. So I would love for you to join me. It's a small group. I keep my workshops really small. Usually no more than 20 people can come to these workshops because it is a workshop. It's a lot of interactivity. As much as I'm leading conversation, there's a lot of cross-pollination of ideas. It's almost a roundtable setting. A lot of times you even hear me call it a roundtable because this is the kind of environment that not only allows you to learn, but from me, somebody who's done this with 3 different startups and brought those three startups to their first millions in revenue each time, but you also get to learn from other people what's working for them, what's not working for them. Because a lot of the stuff you need to see in action and hear from other people, hey, that's a really great idea. What if we took this and added it to that and put that to work for your company? So that's why I create this environment, this teaching environment in a workshop scenario, in a full day, super intensive, so that you can walk out of here with clarity around each of these key areas of the 4 Ps to building repeatable, scalable sales. So if you've got any more questions, you can leave a comment here. You can shoot me an email, shoot me a text, whatever questions you have, let me know. The seats are going to fill up. I run this workshop every couple of months. It always sells out. So if you don't take advantage, then you're the one that's going to be missing out. So if you're watching this video and you've gotten this far, there's probably something here that you're going to find really useful. If you have any other questions, let me or somebody from my team know. Okay, so that's it for now. I'm going to sign off, and I hope to see you there at the Startup Selling Workshop. Sell your way to Series A. Again, my name is Scott Sambucci, and I'll see you there.